Hey everybody, welcome back to this series that I beat this game. I'm going to do a little audio commentary on this one for a change because I just want to tell everybody out there that I would never recommend that you play Zelda II, The Adventures of Link in its original state. It's just too brutal. It's too cryptic. It's a miserable experience. I played this game back in 1989 over the summer because we were living with some friends of my parents for about a month because we were in between homes. They were moving from one home to another, and the sale, you know how that stuff goes. It's a little slow sometimes. They had an NES, and one of the games they had was Legend of Zelda II. We never owned it. Now I know why. It was garbage. I'm glad my father never bought it. Probably the nicest thing he never did for me. But I've been going through all these games from years and years ago and just wondering, did I ever beat that? Why haven't I beat it? I mean, it's a Zelda game. I like the Zelda series. Why wouldn't I have played this? So I remember playing it way back, and I remember it just being uninspiring, not very fun. But I was stuck at someone else's house for a month. And this is what I did. And I'd play now and then when I had some spare time and wasn't going out and doing stuff. So I remember getting, I don't know, probably into like the third dungeon. And I just remember it being very bizarre and what am I doing? I'm talking to these townspeople. They're really not telling me enough. You got to kind of sometimes just stumble across things. I mean, one of the first things one of these people tell you is you got to go west. And it's like, that's not even where the palace is. It's up in the northeast. You got to go through a cave. So even when I started playing this again, I spent probably 40 minutes wandering around being like, where do I got to go? Where's this palace in the west? And then I was like, well, okay, I'm just going to go up through this cave because there's nothing left to do. And then I find out there's a palace up there, and that's the one I'm supposed to be in. Oh, great. So the townspeople who can't even give you clues that are decent clues will actually give you a wrong clue. So that's wonderful. But you can see here that every town has a wise man. And right, this first one, you just go right in and he gives you what you need, which is great. He gives you a spell. But in the future, there's usually some sort of hunt and fetch an item, do this, do that. Much later in the game, I got stuck because I didn't have all the magic containers. And the person that's supposed to give you the next level of magic, which then triggers the ability to get into the last couple of dungeons, which I've recorded on here later on. You can't do that unless you find all the magic containers lying about the land, and I had missed one. And yeah, forgive me, I looked it up, you know. Usually I want to beat a game all on its own, but it's like I don't have time to spend, you know, another 3 hours wandering around the whole map of the overworld trying to stumble across some magic container, which is exactly what it was. It was just one of those spots dead out in the middle of nowhere that you just walk across, which is ridiculous. There was no hint. There was no tip. Maybe there is. Maybe I didn't talk to enough people. Because it seems like when you're in a town and you talk to people, sometimes they'll say stuff that they didn't say before if you run into the right person. I don't know if it has to be like the fifth girl with a pot on her head walking by or a bowl, or if it's got to be some kid that shows up or one of the other guys. But you know, you have like 5 or 6 different graphics for these people. They all look the same. And I don't know if they all say the same stuff all the time or if once in a while one of them will say something different. So it's very tedious just to find it out. But of course, back, you know, then they made games difficult and longer and cryptic, so you get the value out of them. I haven't heard Miyamoto say, Shigeru Miyamoto, say that he's not happy with this game, and I can understand why. I'm not happy with it. I wasn't happy with it back then, and now that I've gotten to the point where I'm going to play this through and see if I can beat it, I'm sure as heck not happy with it now. This is probably one of my worst video game experiences ever. But just out of pure, I don't know what you'd call it, just rage. The rage from playing this game propelled me to keep going. I quit this game like 3 times and then kept going. Now, probably the biggest key to anything here that I would tell anybody, if you decide to play this, and don't blame me, I'm telling you not to. Don't play it. Watch a walkthrough. Watch someone else do a speed run. There's no reason to play this. Even if you have a Switch, I got a Switch. I got the online service. Zelda 2's on there. There's a special edition, I think, which maxes out all your levels from the start. Oh, very good. That makes it very easy from the beginning. It's not going to be easy at the end still. But it's almost impossible to start playing this right from the start because you're so weak. You're so weak. You can't do anything. You're going to die and die and die and die and maybe die some more. And after that, you're going to die. So, I don't know where to go from here. You can watch the rest of this. You can watch the next, 50 minutes, see if you enjoy it. But I've done some editing for time, because overall, I'd say this game, I looked it up. I looked up on how long does it take to beat this game. And everything's like, 10 hours. 10 hours if you do everything. 10 hours this, 10 hours that. Maybe a little less if you're good. Yeah, that's if you've mastered this game already. If I played this through again, I could probably beat it in 10 hours. Knowing what I know now, knowing all the secrets and all the hints. Yeah. I didn't use a hint guide. I wanted to try and enjoy this as a purist. But I had to look up, by the time I got stuck on a few things, I had to look up like 3 little things. And the first one is just being in one of the first few towns where you run across this the little fuzzy guys, whatever their names are. They look like a little koosh ball. And he's sleeping. And I'm like, I got past this 30 years ago. How do I get past him now? Evidently you just got to bother him. Like, continuously bother him until he wakes up. How am I supposed to know that? I didn't see any other hint that said, you know what? In town, like, someone's like, there's a thing sleeping here. You should just bug him until, he wakes up. No. Well, remember that tactic, because that tactic needs to be used enough to just change their dialogue. Then there's other things. Way later. Here's one of the 3 things I looked up, one of the other 3 things. You get to a certain point and they tell you, go to the east or something, into the forest. Head east to the forest, because you enter a town where everything's, no one's there. So, I'm supposed to know that by one guy who's the wizard in the town, he's the only one left for some reason, and then there's invisible monsters that are hitting you. But because he says, go east, and I think it was the wizard that said that, that I'm supposed to know that I gotta go up through this area, go through it. I think I had to go through a cave, whatever. And I'm on this other side, and there's just trees. And I'm supposed to use the hammer to cut down trees to find a hidden town. Again, maybe I missed a clue. Maybe I was supposed to talk to somebody somewhere else and said that spoke of a hidden town in the forest. I didn't see it. Most everything else that I figured out was just dumb luck. Walking around, being like, I'm going to scan every inch of this area. Meanwhile, while monsters keep popping up and wanting to fight you, which isn't annoying at all, that's for sure. But you need them, because you got to level up so much. And let's not forget that if you die, you lose all your experience points. Well, after a game over, you lose all your experience points. You know how long it takes to get to like 8,000 again? Or even 4,000? It's so tedious. The benefit is, if you beat the end boss, it levels you up to the next whatever level. But there's different tiers. You have to sometimes get more life, more magic, more power for your weapon. So, you got to choose what to level up for. You can skip stuff and just level up more of one thing over the other, but it doesn't help you. You need all of it eventually to pretty much beat the game, unless you're an expert at this. and you've put in like 10,000 hours. It's probably an exaggeration. It's probably more like 9,000 hours. But you get what I'm saying. This game has to be your obsession if you get that good at it. And how you could ever get to that point when it's so miserable the first time you play it, I don't know. Maybe I'll have a different opinion 10 or another 30 years from now when I'm sitting in a chair at the home and I'm like, yeah, just wire it right into my brain and let's see if I can beat it this time. Like, look at this. Just walking through this is so tedious. Sure, there's probably a way to be patient and dodge all these, but you just want to get through it. Because there's one every few steps. You run into one, you run into another one. What's funny is the final boss in some of these stages isn't always the toughest. And when you go into a palace and you take all the time to work your way to get through that to where the final boss is, the last thing you want to do, because it takes you a few times to figure out how to kill these bosses, the last thing you want to do is take 3 more minutes to slowly work your way back to that palace again, because they don't start you in the palace. They start you back where Zelda was asleep, because she's put under a curse. Whatever. Now, here's the thing. What kills this game more than anything is there's no life given. When you're in the old Zelda game, the top-down one, and you hit some monsters, you get hearts occasionally. In this, the only thing you're going to get is magic. Now, magic's great because eventually you get a life spell. This is always fun too, getting knocked off of bridges, which happens a million times. And this is where I got to the point where it's like, you know what? No, I'm not going to deal with this. I'm dying too much. It's just frustrating. Use the parry spell. Let's just get past this. I'll find magic again somewhere and stock up again. Because some of this stuff is just so brutally annoying. And maybe that's the design of it. Maybe they wanted you to use the fairy spell to get through stuff like this after a while. But you end up using your magic that you need for life. So here's one of the big takeaways from all of this. You just gotta know that whenever you get something in a Zelda game, an item, a spell, it's almost guaranteed that that's what you're gonna want to use somewhere shortly after. But having said that, you just like, where do I use this? I mean, once in a while it's pretty obvious and you'll get a little bit of a clue, but half the time it's just so obscure and you're like, what is this? Where do I use it? What good is it? Thank goodness I fell down here by accident. This helped me find out something, because you don't always want to fall. Sometimes you die. But it is so much about just having accidental exploration in this. I don't know why I'm getting this pea bag. I'll never level up to 8,000 to bother using it. So why am I doing this and suffering and fighting this guy? Look at these. Look at this. Good luck. Good luck anyone that decides to torture themselves with this like I did. So as we continue this dumpster fire of a game, you guys can watch the rest because I recorded the last... There's so much to say. So much horrible things to say about this game. So if you want, you can watch me kind of go through the last... Oh geez, how many? Maybe 5 hours of gameplay here. It's not going to be 5 hours. I've condensed it down to about 45 minutes. But you can watch the last 5 hours condensed. And most specifically, the last level is like almost 3 hours in time. See, here it is. Here's the condensed version of having to walk all the way back because I said every time you die before. It's when you after you die 3 times. You know, once you're game over. When you get a game over, you got to start back. Unlike in the old Zelda, where you could at least continue at the beginning of the entrance, and you might have only 3 hearts. But, you know, you go in and you try and get a few hearts. Or you use a potion. I don't know. So here I am back. Watch, see how it turns out. Don't play it yourself. Don't do it. There's people out there saying, oh, you know what, it gets a bad rap, you know, da-da-da. Yeah, these are all the people that played it after watching someone do a walkthrough and learned 100% of all the secrets, you know? Is that a game anymore? Where you just learn all the tips and tricks and how to fight things? And I gotta say, wait till you see how the guy at the end of this, wait till you see how I end up defeating him. It's a miracle. It's not pretty. You know, I'll probably go back and watch someone do a speed run and just be like, that's amazing. But I started watching a speed run and I gave up on it because it wasn't really a speed run. They do some trick in the beginning that gets you halfway, you know, past all the rocks and stuff. It's like not even fair. So is that a speed run? I want to see someone do a full speed run where they go through everything and get everything. But then again, I did see some guy who, like, you know, hasn't leveled up and he's mastered the art of fighting everything. Makes me sick. But it's impressive. Alright, well, here you go. Watch the rest. See what you think. And you know what? Go ahead, give it a try. Give it a try. Play 1 hour of this game, even knowing where you need to go. Play 5 hours, using every trick and tip and map that you can get your hands on, a walkthrough, and tell me you like the game. Because if you do, you're a sick person, and I don't have time for you. No, that's not true. I got plenty of time. Either way, the most frustrating game I've ever played in my life. I hope you enjoy. I hope you enjoy the misery I went through for this one. So you never have to. You're welcome.